Have you ever wondered what would happen if you could finally lose that dad bod without having to step foot in the gym or giving up pizza with the family? Dads, let's be real. You're not stuck with the dad gut because you're lazy. You've actually got a business, you've got a career and a family and no time to waste. So I know how hard it is. But what if I told you that losing the belly doesn't require brutal workouts, extreme diets, or giving up everything that you enjoy? I'm Andrew Jax, a bodybuilding champ with a degree in human movement and 25 years helping over 400 busy dads lose that weight without exercise. And in this video, I'm going to be giving you an exact step-by-step system to drop 15 to 35 pounds in the next few weeks. I'm going to be sharing 7 daily habits that make fat drop off automatically, some simple swaps that allow you to not give up your favorite foods, as well as the consistency trick that keeps you on track, even with the busiest dad schedule. So let's get started. Let's start off with point number 1. The secret to burning fat without extreme diets, counting calories, or having to spend time in the gym. So what is that secret? Now, it's not about spending hours at the gym or starving yourself with extreme diets. Let me show you the easiest way to burn fat without all the hustle. Let's start with your eating habits. Now, when it comes to eating, I want you to pay attention to your hunger cues. So when you start to feel hungry, that's the time you need to be eating. Now, it needs to be genuine stomach hunger, because if it's based on emotion, stress, or just some cravings, that's not genuine hunger, and that's what causes the weight gain. So you need to make sure you're fueling your body when it tells you to correctly. Now, when you eat, you need to make sure that you're actually going to be eating only enough to still be in a deficit. Now, if you don't need to count calories, how do you work that out? Well, the way that we work it out is we only eat up until you're 80% full. So when you start to feel a little bit full, about 80%, and you still got about 20% left, you stop. If it means that you've still got food on your plate, that's fine. Throw it out or give it to someone else, or just put less next time. Now, if you're hungry between meals, if those hunger cues come up and it's not time for your next meal, what you can do is have a lighter meal in between or a healthy snack, all right? Now, in terms of water, you need to make sure that you're drinking enough water. That way, not only keeps you hydrated and performing better, but it also can help you with your appetite. Because sometimes you might get confused with thirst and hunger. And in order just to eliminate that completely, you just drink enough water. And that is around 2.5 liters minimum, or 85 ounces. And then alcohol, reduce some of that if you're having frequently or too much on the weekends. Or even sugary drinks. If you like a soda, go to sugar-free or just remove it completely, or at least reduce how much you're regularly having. And then with your sleep, it's very important that you're getting enough sleep, 7 to 8 hours, as well as rest. Have a rest day. You know, God designed our bodies to have 7 to 8 hours sleep and 1 day per week. And if you're not doing that, you're going against His design for you, and you're going to suffer and burn out. Stress. Make sure that you're managing your stress. If you've got medium to high levels of stress, you need to make sure that you're trying to, as best as you can, to bring them low and manage that. Because if you are highly stressed, it's going to raise your cortisol levels, which will inhibit your fat metabolism. So we want to put our body in the best state possible to lose that fat. And then if you want to exercise, you can, you don't have to. But if you do, some people enjoy it, some people don't. Start with something basic, just like walking 30 minutes a day. As simple as that. Doesn't require equipment. If you've got a treadmill, use that. If not, go outside, get some sun, and do it at a time that suits you. So it can be mornings, it can be lunch break, after work, or even after dinner, okay? The more active you are, the more energy you burn, the more fat you lose. So it is beneficial and it's great for your heart health too. But as long as you follow all the above steps, other than the exercise, you need to be doing all those. More importantly, exercise is a bonus. So I want to tell you about Michael. He's a client, an ex-client of mine. And when I first met him, he was working long hours behind a desk, eating fast food on the go, feeling like he couldn't get ahead in his health. And his biggest struggle, whenever he tried a new exercise program or a diet, it ended up being too hard, which means he couldn't sustain it. And it wasn't until he focused on something simple yet powerful, daily habits such as the ones I've just mentioned, really helped him overcome that struggle. Now he's 28 pounds lighter, feels better than ever. These daily optimizations, they ended up burning away the fat without stressing him. He was able to maintain it for the long term, because this process doesn't require you to go on extreme diets or spend those hours at the gym, and you don't have to sacrifice your happiness or your energy for a quick fix that I see a lot of dads do. They go through these yo-yo dieting, these vicious cycles of going on a diet, losing weight and putting it back on because they couldn't maintain it. So you just need to make sure you find the right habits that fit into your lifestyle. Make some simple shifts on those daily habits that you find are causing you to gain weight, and work on them every single day. Doesn't have to be perfect, but just make progress. It's very important because those small sustainable changes will end up benefiting you for the long term. It'll have like a compounding effect, but you need to be consistent, all right? That's key. So from tomorrow, I want you to start applying these simple steps. You'll start noticing the results. My clients who do this, they experience greater energy and looser clothes within the first week. This is a game changer for anyone that has a busy schedule, and it works. Let's go on to point number 2, nutrition swaps that keep your favorite foods without gaining the weight. So you don't have to give up your pizza night or burgers with the kids, because I'm going to show you the simple food swaps that'll keep you on track without having to sacrifice them and lead your family to healthier habits. Take my client Scott, for example. He's a 45-year-old dad of 3. He struggled with food choices, which led him to being overweight. He tried other diets but couldn't stick to them as they were too hard, too complicated, and he felt limited, and he got sick of eating the same boring food. So it wasn't something that he could keep doing for the rest of his life. He enjoyed eating out with his family on the weekends, and he didn't want to give that up either. So what do? This is what we did. We switched high-fat foods to low-fat food options. So for example, we had the same foods like milk or yogurt or mayonnaise, but we just went for the low-fat options. Simple as that. So he still enjoyed the flavors of those foods, but we just went lower fat, because what they do is they just skim the fat from it. And immediately you're saving a ton of fat intake, immediately, just by doing that. So think of what simple swaps that you can do. And burgers. You can buy a greasy burger and it's got a lot of fat and a lot of calories. But if you do something like cook it yourself, where you can make the beef patties with lean mince, the cheese with low-fat cheese, and the sauces, use non-creamy sauces like ketchup, mustard, instead of things like aioli or the ranch sauces, which are very high in fat and calories. And your family can do the same. Like, I want you to be eating together with your family, and they noticing the difference in you, and you teaching them how to eat healthier too. So that way, they don't have the issue when they become older, and they can pass it on to their children, because as fathers, we need to be that healthy role model for them. And in terms of eating out with a family, like if he ate healthy and lean all week, he was able to have 1 or 2 reward meals on the weekend. It could be whatever he liked, which included pizza. So that way he didn't have to give up the food he loves, because he would look forward to it throughout the week, and it would make him more motivated to keep following the process, and it meant that he didn't have to feel isolated or deprived, and he was still able to get results. And so much so that the results he got were 37.5 pounds lost in just 7 weeks, just by making those simple swaps and leaving room for reward meals. So you can do the same too and still shed fat. It's a perfect way to keep your family happy and still hit your goals. I'll go more in depth on the full method of how to lose up to 35 pounds in 6 weeks without giving up your favorite meals in a free training that covers everything that you need to know to make this transformation. It's the same method that Scott followed to lose the 37.5 pounds. I call it the Habit Sustainability Formula. If you're interested in that, click the first link in the description below for access. So what I love about making these simple swaps is that you don't have to completely overhaul your life. The little changes can add up to big results, and you're gonna be amazed at how much better you're gonna feel without having to deprive yourself. So I want you to start this exercise today. Write out what unhealthy, high fat, high calorie foods you're currently consuming, and then on the other side, what can you swap them out with? What are the leaner options? Okay, I call this the fat reduction formula. Also, pick what meal is going to be your reward meal for the week. So each week, plan that out. Think, when am I going to have my reward meal? Is it going to be a Friday night with the family? Is it going to be a Saturday night or a Sunday lunch, right? But you got to make sure that you actually eat healthy for the whole week. Otherwise, it's called what you might know as a cheat meal. It's not cheating if it's planned. As fathers, we are called to lead by example. Proverbs 22:6 says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Your kids are watching you. Show them what healthy living is all about, and that's not a punishment, but it is normal, and then it can be done. Now, point number 3, the trick to stay consistent despite your hectic dad schedule. You could have the best diet and exercise plan, but if you don't stay consistent, it's not going to matter, because the people that have known me ever since I was a kid have commented on how consistent I am, and no matter what season I'm in, I keep following a routine that works with every stage of my life. Dads tell me all the time, I just don't have time. But here's the truth. You already make time for the things that matter to you. You don't skip work because it's important. You don't skip your kids' sport games. I would like to think that you wouldn't, because they need you there, right? Your health should be just as important, because when you're healthy, you can show up better for everything else in your life. Staying consistent isn't about willpower. It's about making this process fit into your life and setting it as a priority. Let me show you how to stay on track no matter how busy your schedule gets. Firstly, in order for it to be a priority for you, you need to establish the reasons why you want to do something about your health and your weight. You also need to establish what it is that you're trying to achieve. It needs to be specific goals. Once you have those goals set, you establish the reasons why, you set them out, and then you need to make sure that there's strong motivational factors to be able to continue to drive you to take the action required for you to achieve those goals, because it's not going to be easy. And if your why, if the reasons why you want to do it aren't strong enough, you're going to just give up and be inconsistent. After you've done that, you need to make sure that you need to set this in stone, that whatever it is that you're going to do to improve your health, and even if it's your fitness, it needs to be non-negotiable. You can't allow yourself to talk yourself out of it. Just like you do with meetings or going to work, dinner plans, social events, you just go. You schedule it in and you go. You set it in your head saying, I'm doing it, and you shouldn't be making excuses. If you allow room in your mind to weasel your way out of it, that's what's going to happen, because you'll leave room for excuses to be made, because it requires an effort for you to do whatever it is that you're trying to do. So I work long hours too. I would sometimes work up to 15 hours a day, and I would still make my meals healthy eating and 3 workouts happen, even if I have to force myself out of the house. There are times when I don't want to go to the gym because I've got so much to do, but I just force myself out the door. I get my gym bag, I get in the car, and I drive there, and once I'm there, I know I have to do it. So that's what I want you to do. Now, the things that you need to do to what I've already mentioned before with your health and your habits, they need to fit into your lifestyle and your season of life too. So there needs to be some adjustments being made. For example, when I first had my first child, I used to go to the gym 5 times and I dropped 2 sessions, so down to 3. When I had 3 kids eventually, I ended up dropping the actual duration of those sessions. So it would just be like, instead of 3 sets per exercise, I would do 2 sets per exercise. And that reduced my overall session by like 15 minutes, because I know I needed to get home to help out and spend time with the kids. And as well as the food, I used to have a bodybuilder's type diet where it was quite stringent and maybe not as tasty. And now I'm eating with my family. There needs to be some adjustments there, so that way we can all enjoy our food together, and that way I can eat healthy consistently as well. I didn't quit, I adapted. In the Bible, it's in Colossians 3:23, it says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord. That means you need to be giving your best, not just at work, not just in your faith, but in how you take care of yourself too. It has to be something that is easy to fit in your everyday schedule, and this is going to help amplify those diet swaps that I mentioned earlier, to be able to see even faster progress. This is crucial because consistency is what leads to results, and without it, everything you do is going to feel like an uphill battle. So make your health a priority, just like work meetings or kid drop-offs. Schedule those workouts in, you schedule other things in, why not schedule things for yourself like workouts or meals? If it's in your calendar, then it becomes a priority and nothing else should be able to clash with it. Because when you stay consistent, you're going to see consistent results. And what happens, it motivates you to keep going, and then you never want to go back to the old ways because of all that time and effort you've invested in the better you, in the leaner you, in the healthier you, in the fitter you. So now that you know the power of daily habits, you might be wondering, how do I really make this stick? Well, I've got something that's going to show you exactly how you can lose 10 to 35 pounds in just 6 weeks without having to exercise, go on extreme diets, or sacrificing precious family time. I've created a free training video that breaks down my step-by-step process for busy dads like you. I have a very specific plan that a lot of men follow, hundreds of men followed, and gotten great results. So if you're serious about improving your health and life, I want you to just click the first link in the description below to watch it, and then take the next step to becoming a better man and a better father, the way that God intended you to be. And here's the truth. A lot of busy men set goals, but they never achieve them, especially when it comes to weight loss or health. So if you want to know how to actually get your goals achieved, so you can finally regain your health and confidence in yourself, click on this video right here.